Welcome to episode number 73. Do you ever feel like you're just working and grinding and achieving, and yet there's a little something missing? Well, in today's episode, I'm going to share an experience with you that I had in Paris, France, that will help you get a little bit more momentum in your life. Stay tuned. So the big question is, how do ambitious people like us, who grew up listening to the old advice of go to school, work hard for 40 years, and retire when you're old, create a life today that is meaningful, abundant, healthy, and brings joy, while also leading a life that is productive and full of achievement? That is the question, and this is the podcast that will help give you the answers that you're searching for. My name is Del Denny, and welcome to the Upgrade Your Life podcast. Welcome to the Upgrade Your Life podcast. Del Denny here, and I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Today, I really want to talk about this topic that's been swirling around in my mind. It's been on my mind quite a bit lately, and it's this idea of achievement versus fulfillment. So achievement versus fulfillment, and they both have their place in our lives. And if you've been listening to the podcast, you know I've been working on a lot of projects, and a lot of great things are being created right now. And it's this creation mode and achieving and grinding and getting things done. And sometimes we forget about this fulfillment side of things. And I'll give you an example how important fulfillment is. Now, a few years ago, I was out in Paris, France, and Paris is absolutely my favorite city in the world. I love Paris, France. But before I got to that point of being able to travel and whatnot, I grew up in Indiana. I grew up in this little small farm town. There's cornfields everywhere. And this idea of traveling the world seemed pretty much impossible to me. I didn't grow up with a really good education, so to speak. I do have a great education now, and that's only because I've self-educated myself and have read tons of books and taken seminars and have consumed as much information as I can. But I didn't go to college. I never graduated with a degree. And growing up, my father was in prison, and things looked like things were stacked against me. So this idea of traveling the world seemed like an improbable dream to me. And yet there I was a few years ago in Paris, France. And I was sitting at this little cafe, and I had the love of my life in front of me. At the time she was my girlfriend. Now she's my fiance. In a couple of months she'll be my wife. But I was sitting there a few blocks away from the Eiffel Tower. We're in this little cafe, and we're all squeezed together. It was pre-quarantine days, pre-mask days, and you're just kind of squished together a little bit more. And we're sitting there at this little cafe, and we're having a little. I think we had some salmon, and we had some wine, and it was magical. It was this magical little moment that we were having. And I was drinking the wine and looking at this beautiful woman in front of me, and then I had this feeling of gratitude come over me. And it was such a great feeling. And it was one of those feelings of fulfillment. I finally achieved a big dream of mine. I've had all these little successes, but to think that I was finally in Europe, this farm kid, this Hoosier from Indiana, being able to make it to Paris, France, having wine, beautiful woman in front of me, I was just overwhelmed with gratitude. And so I think about those moments. It was a very significant moment in my life. In fact, it's a moment that I'll never forget, because that fulfillment just meant so much to me. And it also opened up my mind to, okay, what other dreams do I need to dream? How can I think bigger than this? We only have one life to live, and there are no dress rehearsals. So what do we want to achieve in this life? There is no one day. There is no maybe. And so thinking about the fulfillment side of things, I would encourage you to stop and smell the roses. I know it sounds cliche, but every now and then we need to stop what we're doing. Just take a look around at this moment and realize, hey, this isn't going to happen again. I should be appreciative of this moment. And when you hit those big moments in your life and you get that win, definitely celebrate that win. Ingrain that. And that creates more momentum in your life. And so just a little food for thought today, as we think about achievement and fulfillment, as you're grinding and you're hustling and you're working and you're creating and you're doing all these things, also think about fulfillment too. Take time to express gratitude. Take time to celebrate your wins. And I promise you'll be happier and also create that momentum for other bigger successes. So that's it today. Achievement versus fulfillment. I hope that rings a chord with you. I hope you go out there and celebrate some of your wins. I hope you get that feeling, that moment in your life of fulfillment. And I hope you have your Paris moment too. So that's it, my friends. This is Del Denny signing off. Remember, learn, lead, and live to your full potential. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes to get automatic episode updates for the Upgrade Your Life podcast. And finally, please take a minute to leave us an honest review and rating on iTunes. Your feedback really helps us out when it comes to the ranking of the show. And I make it a point to read every single one of the reviews that we get. So thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me on the Upgrade Your Life podcast. Have a great day.